Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. I'm Karen Chaston, and today we are going to, as always, deep dive into how you can move beyond any kind of loss and create your better everyday life. So welcome. It's Monday in Australia. It's 11 a.m. in Queensland. And we are here for the next 30 minutes. So welcome everybody. Please let me know where you're from. Please let me know what is where you're at and how I can assist you. Because as always, we're going to be talking about how we can move beyond loss and create our better everyday life. And with over 40 different loss events, it's something that really is a bit of a gap in our education system, especially from our teenage years, because we are all going to have multiple major losses throughout our lives. But it's really strange that we've never really been taught how to move beyond our loss events. So say hello, let me know where you're from, and we can go from there. As always, at the beginning of the show, I draw a card just before I come on from the spiritual guidance cards by, the channeled spiritual guidance cards from Marcia Quinton. Had to double check that I got that right then because I didn't before. Okay, and today we have drawn this one, which by the look of the photo, as you can see, is Mars. Number 23, Mars. So let's deep dive in, or let's read what this is about. And Mars. Hi, Kerry. Great to see you here. Mars. Our Mars shield and protect us in the shallows of life. We need to protect ourselves, and we create masks to shield us from allowing others to see what lies inside. They place distance and barriers around us, protecting us from others coming too close or seeing too deeply into our world and invading our personal space. They also provide us with the opportunity to be another person. When we are acting in another role, certain masks will act as a protective guard. Masks also disguise others who are often hiding behind one and not revealing their true intent. You are being warned to prepare for this. Others may try to fool you and not be sincere. You may need to mask your own feelings and not show weakness to protect yourself from others around you and put up your shields. Very interesting. Sharon, I do not give guidance cards. I am not a medium. I am not a channeler. I am a life coach who specializes in loss, and I assist you to move beyond any kind of loss. So I totally understand if you don't want to stay here, but that's what I do. And that's what I love to do, because it's all about you, assisting you to deep dive into you. And I guess to move beyond these masks that we all put on. And it is interesting, Kate, and thanks for saying that. Yes, my heartfelt condolences, Sharon, um, for losing your daughter, your 36-year-old daughter. I don't know what you're going through, even though my son passed away just over 10 years ago. I still do not know what you're going through. And the reason I don't know what you're going through is that every relationship is unique, and and no one can tell you how you feel, the best way for you way forward. Certainly I can guide you on the best way forward. And that's exactly what I do as a life coach who specializes in loss. And the good news is that my Demystifying Loss book, I am madly editing. It will be out in the next month or so. So that may assist you. I don't do cards, Sharon, as I said. So I totally understand. I do a general card at the beginning of our reading, and then we go on from there. But if you would like to reach out to me and have a conversation, I am more than happy to have a conversation with you. And here is my email address. Anyone can reach out. Please, it will be a 15-minute conversation. At the top of the email, can you please put it in that you saw me here? And then we can go from there, and I can give you some guidance on the best way forward for you. I did it the hard way. I did it, and everything that I guide people towards is just about the complete opposite to what I did. So I did the hard road so that to make it easier for other people. But today, what we are going to be talking about is we are moving along. As for the last last few episodes, what I've been doing is I'm helping people to move up the vibration scale, and we're doing it through different things that keep our vibration low. So today we're going to deep dive into it. So let's get my trusty little slides happening. So love, our life's journey, our complete life's journey is a journey from love to loss and then back to love. Unfortunately, along that infinity life that we actually live, we sometimes get very, very stuck in loss, and we forget. We forget to love ourselves. We forget to look after ourselves, to look after all areas of our lives. And it does take us a while to get back to that love on the best way forward for us. And that's what I love to assist people to do, because with over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives, it is a journey. We just think we're over one hump and then another one comes and another one comes. And that's exactly what happened to me. And that's why I went looking for a better way for us all to do loss. And I have to say, I do love my life. I love what I do. I love talking with people. I love, giving people guidance. But at the end of the day, it always comes back to you, whether you are ready to move along. And that's what we're going to talk about. So here's a list of the 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. And as you can see, it's huge. And a lot of us just think that, a death of a loved one is loss and a grief-causing situation. But no, that's not the case. Every single one here that's listed is a grief-causing situation. And, it'll affect one person one way and another person another way. And then we just sort of don't know exactly why we're feeling this way. And because most people do not have a high loss intelligence, they don't understand why you're acting the way you are, why you aren't your fun, loving self that you used to be. And that's where that's my role, I feel, is to educate people so that they can increase their loss intelligence, so they can understand that this is why you're feeling this way. And then obviously have the tools, the 5-step process, which I call the gift of loss, to be able to assist you to be able to move beyond and deep dive in and learn the lessons from what this loss has come into your life, because that's what our journey is. It's a journey of learning lessons. We're all spiritual beings on a spiritual path. We've come down here for our spiritual development. It really is that simple. And I know when we get down here, we make it all about all the other things. But at the end of the day, when we do leave this realm and move on to our next, we will be doing our life review to see, this is what you plan to do and this is what you did. Why is there such a gap? What happens? And being in Earth, it's very dense. And at the moment, I'm pretty sure most of us are feeling the density more so than in any other times in our life, that, it isn't as easy as it was even, say, 2 years ago. So this is why I really am concentrating over the next, couple of weeks. I've been doing it for the last few episodes, but I really want to deep dive in for us to understand this map of consciousness, because when we are in the lower consciousness, we're not connected. We are not connected. We're connected probably more to the mass density. We're not lifting ourselves above it so that we can actually feel exactly where we are and where we're meant to be in our journey of what we call this life. And it's really interesting that I did pick the mask card today, because so often we put on so many masks and we believe that those masks are who we really are. We lose ourselves through wearing these masks all the time, that we are a little bit scared to take them off, because that person may not like me if I'm not wearing this mask, or if I am true to who I really am. So that's why it's important for us to understand where we are vibrating, and then have an awareness of, well, how can we lift our vibration? Now, we're not going to go from shame and guilt straight up to love. That's not going to happen. But we can go from shame and guilt into desire, or into courage, because courage is where it really does start. And I know neutrality is 50 points higher, but the point is that once we start to find our courage, our inner strength, we really can start to really then go up those scales quite quickly. Now, if you're in shame and guilt, you can actually go up, every now and then, but it's about keeping your vibration at that higher rate, because what you are is how you vibrate. So what you attract is, you'll attract like for like. You're not going to be in grief and guilt and you're going to attract love. It's just not going to happen. But you can be in acceptance and attract love, because the gap is not so different. Okay, so it's really important for us to know that, and that's why I'm doing this and going through it. So today what we're going to talk about is, we're going to talk about blaming. Okay, now blaming is when blaming others is nothing more than excusing yourself. Like, if you just get that sentence and nothing else from this show today, it's really important for us to understand that. Blaming leads you to give away your power of change. Now, isn't that incredible? Blaming leads to you giving away your power to change. Just think about that for a moment. And blaming takes time and energy away from improving yourself, because it does. You just keep repeating the same story over and over and over again to other people. And it's important for us to understand, thanks Sharon, and thanks Maria, it's really important for us to understand where we are in that scale, right? Because when you're in blame, and I'm just going to go full screen on this, because this is what I love, right? I love to break down words. I know I'm a geek, but honestly, I'm actually an ex-accountant. Well, I'm still an accountant, but I was really into numbers. But once I started on this journey, I really, really started to get into words. Became an author and a speaker and all those sort of things. So what I found, that the more I deep dived into words, the more the words were actually telling us how, or guiding us. The English language is amazing. It guides you on how to actually live and love your life. So if you look at the word lessons, right? Less on. So the more you deep dive into the lessons and find out what has happened in your life, it will be less on you. So you'll grab the lessons. There'll be less angst. There'll be less emotional turmoil. There'll be so many more less things that will assist you to live and love your life. So the word blame, right? Now, everyone goes, well, how do you break that one down, Karen? Like, seriously, it's blame. It's a 5-letter word. But let's look at this seriously. So there's blah and there's me. Okay? So let's have a look at the blah, right? And we've all done it. I don't care what anyone says. You may not go into blame now, but we have all gone into blame in our lives at some stage, because blame's easy. Blame is really easy, because when you're in blame, you don't have to take any responsibility for what has happened, right? But the blah, 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 blah. They did this, blah, 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 blah. They did, they said, they said, they did. It's all their fault. That's the blah, blah, right? And in the blah, blah of blame, we spend so much time justifying how wrong they were and how right I was. So you've completely forgotten about me. But you've also completely forgotten about the fact that there's two people in every relationship, right? So if you're blah, 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 blahing about whatever happened, you have forgot the fact that there's you in the relationship. So what was it that caused you? What did you do or say that caused them to do or say what they did? Okay. And it may not have been on that day that this all happened, where this all blew up, the thing that is stopping you from moving forward and living and loving your life, you'll put it down to one event, right? And they may, on that one day, have done an injustice to you. But there's probably a build-up. Like, people just don't do things like that. There's a build-up, and there's a build-up, and there's a build-up, and a build-up, and a build-up. So what are all of those things that have happened? It's really important for you to understand blame. And I feel that breaking it down into the blah, blah, blah and the me, that you really start to then be able to really easily take responsibility in your life. Because when you start to take responsibility for your part of this relationship, right? Even if the relationship is over through, say divorce, or you've left that job, or whatever the loss event, or the person has actually moved on into another realm, it's really important for us to understand that it is. So yes, I hope that helps. Teresa, I do not do messages. I help people to move beyond loss. So and I totally understand if you don't want to be here, but I don't give guided messages. I give messages for you to deep dive into you. So hang around if you want to hear that, because today we're talking about blame and what it actually does to you and how it stops you from living and loving your life. And yes, Sharon, you are so right. Blaming is an easy way out, but it stops you from taking responsibility. It stops you from deep diving in to actually what has gone into your life, so that you can come out of the shame or the guilt or the anger, the grief, the frustration, all of those things that keep you low, that keep you in the density. And it is about how you can lift your vibration. Because the more you lift your vibration, not only do you connect more to your loved ones or your inner guidance or your guides, it's really important that when we understand that when we vibrate higher, we will be healthier mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. We will improve all of our relationships because we don't sweat the small stuff anymore. Because we're vibrating at a higher level, we actually realize that, I don't need to be right in your opinion. I don't need to justify what I've done to anyone else. You start to understand and really embrace the fact that whatever you think about me is none of my business. And you really start to live your life to the best of your ability through your guides and through your inner wisdom. And that's what it's all about. And that's what I love about how I help people to go from any kind of loss to deep dive into it. And it's painful. I'm not going to lie to you. It is painful. But the good news about it is that it becomes really easy, because when you do that deep dive, you start to understand that the emotions are your friends. Okay? I know that sounds really, really weird, but I'm going to say it again. Your emotions are your friends. Okay? Because what your emotions are doing, let's think of emotions as they're trying to call you up, right? They're trying to phone you, but they don't have a telephone. They don't have a device to actually call you and say, hey, look at this, or deep dive into this, or have you thought about this, or you felt this, and all this sort of stuff. Because we see things from our perspective, and because we all want to be right, we don't see the things that prove to us or show us that maybe we were wrong, or maybe our interpretation wasn't actually the way that it was intended. How often have you had a conversation with someone years down the track and you said, why did you say that? And they go, I never said that. Why did you act like that? Or why did you do this? Or all these sort of things. And you begin to understand that there was a misunderstanding, right? Because we didn't listen properly, or we interpreted what they said the wrong way round, which we thought they were having a go at us, but they weren't, or something like that. It just happens so many times. So that's what the blaming can just sort of make it go whoosh, right? And blaming is a lot like not being able to give forgiveness. It's the same sort of thing, that when you continually blame others, not only are you not taking responsibility, but you're causing a lot of angst in your body. And it's like you're drinking poison, expecting the other person to, die from it, or to be damaged by what you're doing to yourself, but you're only harming yourself. And that's what's really, really sad. You're only harming yourself. So it's really important for us to actually start to take responsibility for the things that are causing us grief, the things that we're not happy about, and deep dive into it. And, so that you can actually take responsibility for your life. And you can start to develop things or little practices that you can put in place, so that you can actually deep dive into this thing that is causing you wanting to blame everyone else and not take responsibility, because you can easily eliminate blame. It's about you understanding, how can I eliminate blame? How can I deep dive into what has happened, so that I don't feel the way that I do about it, so that I can understand it more? And sometimes it's maybe not ideal for you to be able to have a conversation about this with the person who you are blaming for whatever reason, but you can journal about it. You can deep dive into, what I've found is a really great exercise is for you to write it from a third person perspective, so that you're not one of the players in the scenario. And when you write it out, from that third person, where you're saying he, she, or they, or whatever, preposition you want to say, but you start to say it from them. So it removes you from it. And it's like your higher self has come in and you're overlooking it and you're seeing it from a different perspective, because there's no emotions involved in it. Well, you know what I mean? Because you've removed you personally from it. Really great exercise. If you feel that there's something that's stopping you, that's keeping you down, that's stopping you from actually moving forward, or even just being in the present, you're just so stuck in the past over this, these few things. It's really important that you don't do that. So blame today is one of the things that really does stop us from, being where we want to move forward. And there's a great healing. So it's really good that to heal the past is, it's really ideal for you to understand that your trauma is not your fault, but healing from it is your responsibility. So what has happened in the past is not your fault, but what you carry forward and what you release is your responsibility. So healing the past enhances your future, and it is really all in your hands. And I'm giving you a couple little guidance, just tips on how to do it. But what I also just love to talk about each week, because this program is changing so many people's lives, then that's why I created it. And that's why I have kept it at such a beautiful price, So let's talk now about the Revitalize Your Life program. So Revitalize Your Life is this amazing program, which I started to create around this time last year. And I released it. Yeah, my dog did agree. That's a little Sirius, Sirius. And I called him Sirius because Sirius is the brightest star and it is the dog star. And that's why I called him Sirius. But you're right, he did agree. So let's talk about Revitalize Your Life. So it's a 45-day program where each day I send you a different activity to do, and they're all based on different things, and they're all about assisting you to be able to move beyond any sort of thing that's holding you back. It's all about what I've found with every single person that I've worked with is what really comes out is they've lost themselves. And that's another, like, I can't believe this card, these masks, because they've lost themselves through all the masks that they're wearing and they don't know who they are. They're this person with this person and they're this person with another person, or in, different scenarios, they become a different person. And it's really, really important for us to come back to us. So through this 45-day or 6 weeks at different activities each day, you start to reconnect to you. You gain the clarity and your joy and your fulfillment so that you can reconnect to you. And that's the Revitalize Your Life link, which I'll also post here. Yep, that worked. So, and the beautiful thing about it is that at the moment, what I'm doing is I am giving away one of the Elements Collection gratitude journals with every person who invests in the Revitalize Your Life. Now, the Revitalize Life program is $1 a day. So it's $45 in total, okay? Yes, you heard right. $45 in total. So each day you'll be emailed, I'll add another activity into your own little area and you can access these days for the rest of your life. And thank you, Kerry, for saying you enjoyed the course. And Kerry, Kerry did the course earlier in the year, around January or February. But she has access to it for the rest of her life. So she feels like, I'm not feeling that great today, and she can go in and then she can choose whatever activity that may assist her to feel better today. But the Elements Collection gratitude journals are these amazing journals, and I don't have one here. Oh, yes, I do over there. Wait, I'll just grab it. So these are my beautiful gratitude journals that after my son passed, I started writing in a gratitude journal. And whilst they were beautiful, all of these gratitude journals, they were beautiful on the outside, but blank pages on the inside. So I decided to create my own, which obviously you can see, water, air, fire, and earth. And this is the earth one here. And inside it, each day has a chakra color, so you can tap into the chakra in your body. So over the week, you've balanced all your chakras. Then there's a unique photo. I've taken them all except for the fire photo. Got to love our trusty little iPhones. And then there's a unique gratitude saying down the bottom. So as you can clearly see, they're amazing. And then on the right-hand side of the page, you then can tap into whatever gratitude you want to write for the day. There's heaps of instructions in the front on how to, deep dive into your chakras, everything. Amazing. So these retail for $36 plus postage. So that comes in about $48. So for the next few weeks, if you register and book in and sign up for Revitalize Your Life, I will send you one of these as well, which is totally amazing. And so that you get the gratitude as well. So if you feel that you are in blame and you don't know how to get out of it and it is stopping you from what about for the UK? Sharon, I will send it to you in the UK, but I may ask for postage. Are you happy with that? That's all. Just email me because I would love to send them to you in the UK. You got my email up earlier. Just send me an email. We can go from there, or register, and then we can have the conversation after that. But yeah, it'll just be postage on top of it. More than happy to send the journal. As I said, that's $36. I am paying for postage at the moment, but postage at the moment in Australia is a lot less than to the UK. So just think about that. Let me know. Look, the savings that you're going to make through the UK dollar, believe me, $45 Australian is probably about £22, £25 or something like that. So you're going to make a lot of savings there anyway. But I will definitely send you the journal. It's just the postage. So just go from there. And as I said, so here is, I'm nearly out of time. So here's a Revitalize Your Life thing. So that's it. That's it for our Monday little show. I'll be here again on Thursday, same time, which is at 11 a.m. Queensland. on Thursday. We're doing 30-minute shows at the moment. I just feel this is better. I, come in, share everything. So thank you all for being here. And I look forward to either seeing you here on Thursday or connecting with you again Mondays and Thursdays at this time. Bye, everybody, and make sure that you make every day meaningful, memorable, and magical.